Hello and welcome. I am Rasmus Sojmark. I am the CEO and founder of SBC and your host of the Double Espresso Show. Today it's my pleasure to bring you episode number 3, which is about the future of payments in North America. For the new viewers and listeners of the show, I can briefly mention that the Double Espresso Show is focusing on expert advice and key information from leading industry experts in an interview with me. Espresso chair. Now, in the virtual studio today, I have the luxury of sharing 3 double espressos with industry experts who are uniquely positioned to provide insight on the growth and future of payments within the US sports betting and iGaming industry. Now, guest number 1 is Lorenzo Pellegrino, the CEO of Skrill, NETELLER, and Income Access, which is part of the Paysafe group. The second guest is Fayer, who is the CEO and founder of Nuvei. And the third guest is Pappano, who is the CEO of Sightline. Now, all the guests today and their companies serve the online gaming segment in North America, including both sports betting and iGaming. Now, this is expected to build from a $3 billion total revenue market to over $22 billion in the next 5 years. Crazy. In addition to this, there is the wider land-based gaming industry opportunity with around $90 billion revenue market there, serving over 100 million customers annually. We're talking big numbers here. Wow, this is huge. So, quickly about Paysafe, Nuvei, and Sightline before we start the interviews with our guests. I will say that Paysafe Group is a leading specialized payments platform. Its core purpose is to enable businesses and consumers to connect and transact seamlessly through industry-leading capabilities in payment processing, digital wallet, and cash solutions. Online cash solutions, that is. Paysafe had an annual transaction volume of $92 billion in 2020. Wow. 3,400 employees located in over 12 global locations. 70 payment types in over 40 currencies around the world. Recently launched crypto offering in the US with Coinbase. And let's not forget about the very recent $1 billion IPO, which we'll talk about today. Then we have Nuvei. Nuvei is a global payment technology company with a proprietary platform that offers direct connections to all major payment card schemes in over 200 markets worldwide, supports 455 local and alternative payment methods, nearly 150 currencies, and 40 cryptocurrencies. Oh, that is a lot. Well done, Nuvei. And according to Nuvei, their purpose is to make the world a local marketplace. That sounds great. Adding to this, Nuvei closed the largest tech IPO ever in Canada in September 2020 and raised a staggering $805 million in gross proceeds. And very recently, on 16th of April, yes, just a week ago, Nuvei entered into a definitive agreement to acquire Mazooma, the US-focused gaming and sports wagering payment technology provider, for approximately $56 million plus additional consideration. A lot of interesting stuff in Nuvei, huh? Looking forward to discussing this today. Then we have Sightline. Sightline is enabling the next generation of cashless, mobile and omnichannel payment solutions for the iGaming, lottery, sports betting, entertainment, and hospitality industries. The company has more than 1.5 million Play Plus accounts across its current portfolio of more than 70 programs in 39 states. Just for your information, Play Plus is Sightline's flagship solution for seamless and secure pay and play. Sightline very recently announced $100 million in funding to empower the digital transformation of the consumer experience and transform consumers' funding options within the sports betting and iGaming industries. And interestingly enough, the investment was led by Cannae Holdings and William P. Foley II, who was also recently appointed the chairman of no other than Paysafe. That we'll be discussing today as well. So now, enough from me. Let's turn to our guests. Great to see you again, Lorenzo, and welcome to the Double Espresso Show today to discuss the future of payments in North America. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, Rasmus, and thanks for having me. Hectic days on my side, but we are extremely happy with what's going on these days. Thanks for the invite once again.
Of course, I see a lot on social media posting all the time. I mean, it looks great. But let's discuss some of this today. So let's go to question number one. I would like to ask you if you can tell me about your work with Skrill and NETELLER, and actually also about the recent Paysafe IPO.
So, well, first of all, I believe that we met last time in London. That was probably more than 10 years ago. We were in a very tiny restaurant in Old Street. And actually the discussions that we had that day was around the future of Skrill. So 10 years after now, we are seeing each other here again, and you're asking me what's going on your side. And well, I must admit that many things changed over the last 10 years or more. We are today with Skrill and NETELLER probably the second largest digital wallet worldwide, and we are operating in 120 markets. We offer our merchants and consumers more than 70 payment methods. And we have millions and millions of users that are utilizing our service on a monthly basis. So the business has been growing quite significantly. Last year, $20 billion in volume. We generated $395 million in revenue. So again, we were very pleased with the results, despite obviously very difficult times everyone individually is actually going through these days. I would say, by looking back, I would say that the three big milestones for this business were the acquisition of Skrill back in 2015 by NETELLER. That was actually a great move because we managed to decrease our cost. We didn't actually jeopardize or cannibalize our business on NETELLER, because NETELLER was mainly focused on emerging markets. Skrill was mainly focused on the growth in Europe, and was great because we managed again to save or to reduce cost from an FTE and non-FTE perspective, especially when it comes to marketing. We didn't have to fight against each other anymore, right? So also from a pricing perspective, we could do whatever we wanted. The second big milestone, I would say, was actually happened last year. Was a very large project that internally we called Skrill Teller, and we decided to combine the two platforms. And by doing that, obviously today we have alleviated the pain to integrate things twice anytime we want to launch a new feature or a new product on our side. It lasted probably more than 12 months, but again, the outcome was extremely positive, and we are very pleased with where we are today. And then the last but not the least, as you mentioned before, we went public on the 31st of March. Paysafe completed the merger with Bill Foley's SPAC, and well, it's probably one of the biggest milestones ever for Paysafe. We are extremely pleased and actually privileged and honored to have Bill Foley in our board now, sitting next to CVC Partners and Blackstone. And obviously their presence is going to accelerate the growth in many markets, and obviously it's going to accelerate the growth also with the launch of new products that we are looking at the moment. So many things are happening. I'm very excited about the future. It's just a new chapter, a little bit more pressure, but again, we are ready for that, and the opportunities are endless on our side. So very
knowing
happy.
you welcome pressure, my friend. So that's all good, man. That's very impressive, man. And funny you mentioned about this time we met in London. I actually had it sort of a note of me to bring up at the end of this conversation here. There you go. So now you beat me to it. But let's move forward. Let's jump to question number 2, and I would like to ask you about the recent expansion of your crypto offering to the US with Coinbase. Can you tell me more about this partnership and what it means for Skrill account holders, and your view on crypto in general?
Yeah, well, thanks for the question because you are actually giving me the opportunity to explain, first of all, why we decided to make this move into crypto and how we actually made it. So, we are a consumer business and we usually listen to our consumers. Our consumer base was constantly asking our employees to actually integrate or at least add cryptocurrencies on our side. We didn't want to start from scratch. We didn't want actually to get a crypto exchange a license because we probably wanted to test the waters first. So we decided to establish this relationship with Coinbase. Obviously, Coinbase is probably number one player in this industry. They also went public actually a few days ago.
There you go. It's all happening.
Yeah, it's all happening.
It's all happening.
Great company. We have a great relationship with them. And we started actually from Europe, and actually not just Europe, because we went live with this new service in 100 markets. But again, I just didn't want to compete with crypto exchanges that are, to me, very complicated sometimes, I mean, from a user experience perspective. And that is exactly the topic or the discussion that we had internally. We gather around the table and we say, do we really want to have consumers getting lost because they don't actually know where to click, how to buy and sell cryptocurrencies? This was my personal experience because I was really interested in crypto, but at the end of the day, I didn't really know how to set up a new account with a new company, what documents I had to provide right away. And again, the user experience was pretty cumbersome. So the idea was to create a very, very simple and straightforward user experience, and that's exactly what we did. So today, literally, with 2 clicks, you can register a Skrill account and you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies. We are just a white label solution of Coinbase. So basically, consumers don't even know that the minute they are buying or selling on Skrill, they're actually doing that on Coinbase. But the beauty of that is that once they do that, they can also do many other things with Skrill. As you know, they can send money to gambling operators or to e-commerce operators. They can also send money to friends and family utilizing our Skrill money transfer service, or they can request a prepaid card in Europe and in the US, so they can spend money wherever they want. So again, we started in Europe, and then, as you know, we decided to extend the service in the US, and we launched the service in 37 states a couple of weeks ago. There was lots of noise and rumors around there. We are very, again, pleased with the outcome. We just want to replicate what we did in Europe, and we're going to offer, obviously, this service slowly but surely in the remaining states, better to say, where we are not present yet. What do I think about crypto? Well, on a personal level, I believe that it's a very high-risk asset. I personally don't like, probably I shouldn't say that, but I personally don't like investing on crypto because I don't like flying blind when it comes to again, investments where I don't see the reason why there is volatility behind, again, the price of a crypto asset. But that said, I mean, I must admit that cryptocurrencies are becoming more and more popular. And as you know, there are big enterprises out there that are already offering crypto as a payment method. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of years, cryptocurrencies are going to slowly but surely replace fiat currencies, and they are going to become even more popular. And of course, Skrill and NETELLER are going to facilitate this process, like probably PayPal and like many other digital wallets, just because, again, we are facilitating the access to these cryptocurrencies. We are making things simple for people out there.
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking today as well with Phil from Nuvei, and he was on Bloomberg. I heard about him talking about cryptocurrency and NFTs and all this as well, right? And whereas you have Sightline, I think Joe Pappano is also not the biggest fan of crypto, at least what I hear. But we'll find out today, and maybe we can get the 3 of you together and actually talk as a panel instead of this being a little bit more separate interviews to hear your different stories. No, I appreciate that, and I think I do agree with you. I find it a bit hard to understand the whole world of crypto, and I think it just needs to come with more regulation before you really sort of see it go more mainstream, so people can identify more with it. Whereas now it's very volatile. It's is a little bit like is an investment opportunity. What exactly? This is where it's a bit complicated, I think. What you guys are doing seems to make very good sense to bring it into the US via Skrill. But let's we're already talking here. That's what I said. Time flies, man, when you're having fun. So let's go to question number 3. I would love if you can tell me a bit more about the importance of cashless and what this has meant for your digital offering.
Yeah, so, well, I
know it's a wide term, of course, but yeah.
That's true. I mean, I can probably share with you what we've seen on our side over the last 12 months. Very interesting, actually, data that I actually came across last week as well. So first of all, I would be extremely happy if cashless or digital solutions replace cash in the near future. Personally, I don't think this is going to happen.
Listen, I haven't touched cash for a year now after the COVID.
Really, that's
sorry for interrupting, but there you go.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. So, but again, unfortunately, me and you don't represent a large chunk of the population, and I believe that is going to probably take many years because in some markets, cash is still the king. And especially in emerging markets, and also in markets like in the US, where you have lots of immigrants that actually they don't even have a bank account. So for them, it's extremely difficult to move from cash to a digital solution. I've seen, again, as I said, recently some stats showing that 55% of the North Americans would be extremely disappointed if they didn't have access to cash on a daily basis. But it's also true, on the other hand, that 33% of these consumers are actually using digital solutions as well. So we are start seeing some sort of shift from cash to cashless solutions. So on our side it was very interesting, especially when it comes to gambling. It was very interesting to see what happened last year. Obviously, football was, games were not played for a long time last year. So we clearly saw a drop in volumes when it comes to sports betting activities. But it's also true on the other side that casinos and online poker activities went up very significantly. So they actually offset the loss that we have seen with sports betting. And on the top of that, we have seen as well in the retail verticals, core retail verticals, actually an increase. 54% of our consumers started to spend more money and actually started to transact even more on our side. That was actually very good to see on our side. So again, as I said, cash is still probably going to be the king for a long time, but slowly but surely I see solutions like PayPal, Skrill, NETELLER, Alipay getting more and more traction in every single market.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and also if you look at the North American market, which I would like to go into now with my fourth and last question, where I might have some more questions within that question, but let me ask the question first. So if I ask you the following, what role do you see Paysafe playing in the future of payments or in the future of the payments industry in North America? It's a very wide question, and I'll have some things we can touch base on when I hear you sort of your first thoughts on this.
Yeah, sure. So again, gambling has been the bread and butter business at Paysafe for many years. We have so much experience in Europe and also back in the days, as you may recall, in the US when we were running NETELLER, which was a very, very popular brand in the industry. So I would say that expanding our business into the iGaming vertical in the US is one of the most relevant priorities. Actually, I would say that is the most, by far, the most important priority. So we are very privileged to have already a gateway in the US that is offering many type of payments, including obviously Skrill, to at least 75 of the operators in the US. So we are already processing payments for most of them. Skrill is taking off the ground, and I'm very happy to see actually that more and more operators are actually adopting our solution. So from a merchant adoption, I'm extremely pleased with the situation. we are still growing, and we need to do that obviously faster. We still need to grow with the number of consumers that are using our solution. What is the most important challenge that operators are facing and payment providers are facing actually in the US is approval rate, especially when it comes to credit cards. But the beauty of Skrill, which is our flagship product, is that we are offering alternative payment methods. And I'm actually pleased to announce here now that we are about to launch in just a matter of 4, 5, 6 days, our instant ACH solution that we built in-house that is actually allowing consumers to upload large amount of funds during the weekend as well. So that, again, we can increase acceptance rate on our side. We are moving or migrating credit card users to instant ACH users. And obviously, we are allowing merchants to receive money as well during the weekend. And obviously, we are absorbing the risk on our side because we are able to tweak actually the rules on our side. So higher limits, in terms of rules related to velocity, we are allowing consumers to make more transactions on a daily basis. So it's going to be a very sleek product. And we have already discussed, obviously, with some of the operators, the new product announcements, and they are very excited. So I believe that these changes are going to actually increase quite significantly our presence and our customer base in the US. Let's not forget that in addition to that, we are offering solutions like our prepaid card in the US, which is allowing consumers to have access to their funds when they actually win money. And obviously, as I said before, we have our crypto service, our send money transfer service. So again, we are building an ecosystem, and this is actually our main strategy that would allow consumers to avoid setting up accounts with Coinbase, with PayPal, with Revolut, or with Robinhood, just because they can do everything under one umbrella, which is the Skrill umbrella. Yeah. Again, we're going to play a very important role in the iGaming vertical. This is our main focus right now.
I mean, as I pointed out in my intro to the show, I mean, you're looking at talking about a $3 billion market, right? That is looking to grow above 20 million in the next 5 years, and that's just we're looking at sports betting and iGaming. If you look at how you also find a way into the retail, the land-based gaming, I mean, we're talking about more than 100 million totally, right? So huge market, great opportunities, and the industry is obviously regulating and legislation passed at a much faster rate with COVID. States are seeing the opportunity around gambling, sports betting and iGaming. So it's very exciting times. And you guys, with your IPO and everything else going on, I mean, it's hats off. You guys are doing an amazing job.
Yeah, no, I can tell you, we are extremely excited. And by the way, we are going to partner up most likely with solutions like Sightline. You know me very well for a long time. There are no enemies in this industry. There are just all friends. So we can actually help each other to grow into this vertical even faster if we cooperate. So we are definitely looking at having Skrill more into brick and mortar, so on the casinos floors, and why not doing that through partnerships like Sightline? We have a great relationship with them.
Great guys as well. Love those guys. Amazing guys. And I guess my last quick question here is: are we going to see Skrill, Paysafe continuing with amazing sponsorships as you guys are doing in Europe? Is that going to happen in the US as well? Or?
Yes, indeed. So as you know, we're sponsoring AC Milan. It's a 4-year contract, and since last week, actually, Paolo Dybala is our ambassador and is promoting
Less
our.
Important than AC Milan. Less important than AC Milan.
Less important for you, more important for me, because as you know, I'm a big Juventus supporter. Yeah. But definitely, we are exploring. Oh, and by the way, let's not forget that we are also sponsoring Leeds United in the Premier League. So yes, we are definitely considering some opportunities in the US. As a matter of fact, actually, we have already 2 ambassadors. It's confidential information, but one of them is actually filming the TV spot right now as we speak in Mexico City. And we're going to have also a basketball player actually promoting our Skrill service in the US very soon. So yes, absolutely. And we are looking actually at sponsorships with NBA or NFL teams. I mean, the opportunities are endless. We just need to have a budget.
No, that's amazing. Listen, We're doing a lot on the events and media side in the US, so we'll be in touch. We'll talk about how we can do something around this. Amazing. Listen, Lorenzo, we already talked for almost 20 minutes now, so I think we have to cut it short now. But if you have something very quick you want to add, I'll give you the chance.
Well, no, I'm looking forward actually the next call or the next meeting. Hopefully, it's not going to be in 10 years' time. And again, thank you very much for your time, Rasmus. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you. Always.
Likewise, and hopefully I can get you, Phil, and Joe on a panel after, and we can share joint point of views as well. Thanks, Lorenzo. Good to talk to you again, my friend.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you, Rasmus.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Hello, Phil, and welcome to the Double Espresso Show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure. And we're here today to talk about the future of payments in North America. And just before we get started with all these very interesting questions, I would like to ask how you're doing today.
I'm doing great. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Listen, we have four very key questions, and there might be more popping up during our conversation. So let's get right on with it. And I would like to start with question number one, which is about Nuvei closing the largest tech IPO ever in Canada in September 2020 and raised a staggering $805 million in gross proceeds. Man, huge congratulations on that. That's amazing. I mean,
Thank
wow.
you. That crown was short-lived. Someone picked that up.
There you go. But can you tell me about Nuvei and the exceptional growth the company has seen under your leadership? And we are touching base on it, but maybe also address a bit about the recent agreement to acquire Mazooma.
Yeah, sure. Great question. Nuvei is all about making the world a local marketplace, helping our customers connect with their customers, helping our customers transact with their customers. So when you think about Nuvei, we provide the technology, the capability, the relationships and the payment mediums to make commerce relevant in every market that our customers operate in. So within a single integration to our platform, our customers can operate in almost 200 markets, 150 different currencies. We do local acquiring in 35 markets ourselves and growing, 455 different forms of alternative payment method. And recently we announced 40 cryptocurrencies. And it's all about helping when that customer is at the checkout page, right? When merchants have spent millions of dollars to bring the customer in, when he wants to buy whichever form or flavor that is relevant for him to both pay in and pay out, Nuvei is a technology partner to drive that value to our customers. And you mentioned a little bit Mazooma in the opening. Mazooma is an alternative payment method that we're really excited about, because when you think about what we're talking about today for gaming, today we come for U.S. operators within, our large stack of capabilities, our tremendous breadth of value-added services. But more importantly, we come in with a credit, debit, and bank-to-bank payments, ACH payments, soon real-time payments that really offer our merchants to accept the largest share of wallet, whichever way the consumer prefers to pay on a seamless basis. So we're really, really excited what's happening and how we're helping our customers grow.
I mean, I know you guys, from what I can read and see, you guys are trying to make the world, like the global world, like a local marketplace, which is very ambitious. But we can talk more about that at the end when we see what role you see Nuvei playing in the North American market for the years to come. But let's continue on, and I'll ask you question number two, which is crypto is obviously the buzzword.
Yeah.
It's been just growing and growing. And I'd like to ask you about your view on crypto and the role it plays for both Nuvei and also for the gaming industry.
Yeah, sure. Great question. Look, crypto is a fascinating topic, right? And it's not just the US gaming industry. It's really what crypto does around the world. But if you come back to our philosophy of making sure we enable our merchants to accept any form of payment, it's very logical that a few weeks ago we announced, support of over 40 cryptocurrencies for the way in and the way out. For us, crypto has, three key elements, right? First, accepting payments from customers if they so choose to pay with crypto. I think the second element is paying commissions with crypto because they're in real time, right? The on-ramping and off-ramping from fiat to crypto and vice versa. And the third is merchant settlement, right? How do we drive faster merchant settlement, instant settlement around the world? And we think crypto is going to play a very important part to that. But what's really interesting about our business model is because we come with tech first, right? So we want to solve real world problems and we want to help our customers connect with their customers. And so we'll let the market drive how crypto, responds and what wallet share it takes. But for sure, when our merchants are using Nuvei, they'll never have a payment medium that's relevant for their customers, not available to them, fully integrated, fully reconciled and neatly deposited in a single deposit so that they could really focus on what's important, their own customers.
Yeah, no, that's that's impressive. I mean,
thank you.
Do you hold any Bitcoin yourself, or just out of curiosity?
You're making me seem like a dinosaur here. I bought one coin, but I've never been a huge speculator. I find it fascinating what's happening in crypto as a whole. To be fair, it is when we started this year, we had multiple layers of innovation in our lab, and one of them was crypto. And how do we expand crypto? Where in the ecosystem can we play? And it's something that we're learning all the time on. Really where does it drive more value? And we find that, even things that we're seeing today and what we've announced today, we have a really healthy roadmap. And I think crypto is going to play a really important part, ultimately, of commerce. How that goes, it's still unpacking itself, but we certainly think it's very, very relevant.
Of course. I mean, we can return a bit more to this at the end when we discuss the sort of wider industry and the future of it. So if I am to ask you my question number 3 here, which is about Nuvei being a driver for cashless payments in North America, can you describe how this works and what the benefits are?
Yeah, I think when you have to remember where Nuvei came from, right? So from a cashless perspective, is the only area that we focus. So Nuvei has been a digital enabler. We focus on key verticals that have longevity, tailwinds, right? They have real opportunity, and they have the propensity to operate globally. And gaming is one of them. So really, we started in online gaming, right? We started 14 years ago enabling the gaming market. We have grown to a really important player around the world. And naturally, all of our customers are either thinking about or entering the US on a digital first basis. So we're not reinventing the wheel of saying, how do we go from the physical casino to amend our systems to go online? We're really coming with the best of breed relevant technology for the online experience. And the online experience is very different than the offline experience. But ultimately, we end up providing the facility for those customers to seamlessly transact, consume, and have the flexibility from a cash environment, which is going to really be cashless as time goes on.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting on back to just quickly on the crypto as well, because I think there was very different viewpoints. I think Lorenzo wasn't. I mean, he very much thinks much of the crypto, but he's not entirely sure yet with all the regulation on this. So I don't know. We can come back to that as well.
Sure.
Let me just quickly jump to number 4. What role does Nuvei play in the future of payments in North America? So one question, so we can spend quite a bit of time on this one.
Yeah. I think what's fun for us is because we operate our proprietary technology, because our roadmap is driven by our customers, specifically, we build, meaningful and purpose-built technology so that our merchants could do more, focus on, expanding their business and going from state to state and hopefully country to country. And we think that innovation, is driven by real needs, right? We're not building stuff and then hoping to sell it. We're building things to resolve real issues. And that's been part of our success. And ultimately, what we end up driving to is creating a technical relationship where we may not be in the flow of funds of technology only and growing our relationship with our customers. And so instead of pivoting out and saying, this is where it's going to be in 5 years, payment is evolving so fast. We release features almost every 2 weeks at a time. And we think because of our flexibility, we'll hope to always strive to be market leaders, through both innovation, product features, and naturally helping our customers grow, both within, the borders of the United States and globally.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting. I mean, I've hats off. You guys are doing so many amazing things, and I like the way you're positioning this as in, it's about developing the industry for the whole use of payments in general, and as we come back to making a global world or market more accessible locally. I mean, that's very interesting. I like that. I would say if you look at the market, I mean, you're looking at right now, obviously the North American gaming market, we're looking at sports betting, iGaming jointly around, let's say, a $3 billion dollar market, looking around 25 billion over the next 5 years. And if you add in the retail side, the land-based gaming, we're looking more than a $100 billion dollar market. So how do you see that connection in with your great work in the cashless space and digital space into helping the land-based industry maybe, let's say, recover a bit more from a tough year with COVID?
Yeah, we think from our perspective, you have to have focus on delivering for your verticals, if that makes sense, right? So, folks have been running into gaming now thinking because it's a hot industry, it's in the news that they're going to enable gaming and gambling online. And, from our perspective, we've been doing it for 14 years. I think the requirements online are very different than the requirements in the physical casinos. I do believe, right, over time, a lot of these land-based casinos will try to have their own proprietary platforms for payments, right, their own internal wallet. So not only does it drive within the restaurants and the entertainment and other, so it'll be fascinating to watch. But to be fair, it's not our area of focus. Our area of focus is really enabling the digital experience. What we end up seeing is more states have accelerated their positioning and entering online, obviously accelerated by the pandemic. And so we had states that we never thought were coming back to it. And really what we end up having is 75% soon of American consumers will get to enjoy and participate should they so choose to do so online. And ultimately we'll probably see the digital space take a significant wallet share from the card present space. And it's going to happen like in everything else that we've seen, be it 25% to start or 10% to start, but probably higher growth online than what you see in the physical presence. But that's just my humble opinion. Ultimately, from our end, we're really focused on being the leaders on the digital experience and the digital enablement.
Okay. So just if you don't mind me asking a couple of more questions here, I think
for sure
you guys obviously a Canadian-based company. You linked up recently with the AGA and also the CGA, the Canadian Gaming Association. So these type of partnerships, how important are they to drive what you're seeing, a way of really developing and creating a much better sort of payment industry for the consumers?
I think it's very important, right? Like we want to have a leadership position. We want to make sure that people understand that, for us, gaming is not a nice vertical. It is the vertical, right? We focus on very specific verticals. And while no vertical is more than 20% of our overall business, we focus on 6 or 7 verticals. So gaming is key for us. And for that, we want to have a position of leadership. We want to help our customers with best practices. We certainly want to have a voice. We want to be able to take our experiences from our customers to others to help them and to help drive, what I think is really exciting. Think about it, right? The largest TAM has now come online. All of Europe has come online in North America. And it's just one of, right? We're talking a lot about North America, but LATAM is growing as well. We have other markets as well that are around the world. And certainly, the US is the best opportunity in a while that's happened for, our gaming customers. And we want to make sure that we help them succeed at it.
Yeah, I mean, this, I agree. Maybe, we are focusing on sort of the future of payments in North America, obviously, but we are also talking sort of payments into the gaming space, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously right now I'm sitting in London, based in sort of more the European side of the industry. There's a lot about regulation over here, player protection, problem gambling and all of this. So if you were to, just before we round this conversation off, if I can ask you a bit about how do you see the role of sort of payments and the platform, the technology you guys are building, how strong is this in the whole sort of player protection discussion, and how we ensure that we maybe start really working with it early on in the North American market so we don't have to deal with a lot of issues later on?
The good news, right, is we have a blueprint of what's happened in the past and how to launch appropriately, right? So states have done a lot of work on how to do just that. And I think ultimately the legal framework that we have is very positive. Every industry at its infancy where we are today will have its growing pains. And I suspect that will be an issue as well. The most important part is, the ecosystem uses data to drive longevity and sustainability. And so use payment data, use historical data, use what's ever available. Look at how we can build something that's for the future. The last thing anybody wants, and we see this time and time again, right, is for bad actors to ruin it for the goods. So how do we protect the industry, protect the players, allow people that want to have a game once in a while to really enjoy it, and not get either unfortunately change a regulation, which we've seen when it gets abused, or other where players unfortunately can't control themselves. How do we create an infrastructure that bodes well for the future? And I think that's exciting, and we want to have a voice at the table for that. And certainly, all players in the ecosystem have to participate.
Absolutely. I mean, we had a discussion on the previous show, the previous episode, where we talked about player protection, and the whole thing about how you take the industry towards responsible entertainment, something sustainable, without only thinking too much about the revenue side or the profit being the driver, right? Because let's be honest, I mean, the North American market is at an early stage compared to where the European market is now, right? And there's a lot of issues being created by kind of shoving under the carpet instead of trying to deal with and understand it, and how we create a more, as I said, more sustainable, strong industry that takes everyone into consideration, right?
There's one thing that you should always, one thing you've got to consider, right? And I think this is a real positive, is that, regulation is driving out the gray market. So, now we're being able to drive it forward. And I think with that, we can do a lot of good, and it's going to be fascinating how it develops, but you're absolutely right. We're at our infancy, and it's our opportunity to do it right, to do it well, and to build a long-term, not think short-term, but really think long-term.
Listen, I would say though, I mean, if you look at some of the things in Europe, the problem there is, you're right, regulation is driving, a much better control with and pushing away the sort of the black, even that's part of the gray market, right? But what is also happening in Europe from time to time is you kind of forget about that, and you think regulation changes suddenly to make gambling, or say the betting and gaming industry, look fairly bad. And in that respect, you're kind of driving the traffic back to the black and gray market, which for some reason people don't seem to understand. So that is something you really want to avoid in the North American market, that you really understand the whole spectrum here, the whole way of things working together. And I think payments is certainly going to be a massive part of that, because you're talking about deposit withdrawals, understanding the data, as you said, early on, to sort of really put out a profile on each and every player and learn and build with that, So
100%.
I'm just saying the Europe side, what I've seen is there's things to be, understand and to learn from as well, and not push the whole, the whole player base back to part of.
What's fascinating though, I always find this really interesting when I'm in London is, there's a Ladbrokes store at every corner, right? So it's embedded in the fabric. It's embedded in the fabric, right? And in North America in particular, it's not there yet. So we can embed this in the fabric of society, and we can do it right. And I actually find it's incredibly exciting. But 100% agree with you. It's our time now, not to drive regulation, that becomes unattainable or changes, with incredible frequency and not much logic. I think ultimately it's a fascinating time. We should learn from other markets and do the best we can with it. Certainly there'll be bumps down the road, but so far I think the rollouts in the States have been very, very positive.
Absolutely. I mean, and we also obviously seen with COVID more things escalating, legislation passed at a faster rate. I mean, when Passport was repealed, we launched our first events in the US in 2019, and every since then everything has just been, growing. It's crazy. I mean, I was in Vegas in 2006, I think, when UIGEA was passed, and it was like no one was showing up because the whole landscape of the US betting game was changing, So now it's all back. It's great, So, but yeah. Listen, Phil, before we close this off, we talked for about 50 minutes, and it's been a great conversation. I mean, I'm massively impressed by what you and Nuvei have accomplished and what you're looking to accomplish going forward.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to add?
I think we covered a lot of it. I think ultimately what's really fun for us is being at the table and watching this new market expand. And I find it fascinating. I'm really excited about, how our customers are developing in the market, what our customers are doing and how we're going to play a part of that. Our success our growth is really driven by the success of our customers. And, there's such a nice platform now for them in the US. It's very exciting.
Absolutely. I would even add to that, because knowing how with Nuvei and SafeCharge, how the whole integration, and then now Massuma. I mean, I know SafeCharge well, a great bunch of people. Like, I've worked with SafeCharge for many years, great culture, and it's been integrated very well with Nuvei. And now you're looking at Massuma, Ken, David. We're talking about great people here as well. So I can only see that as a perfect fit into the Nuvei family. So I think you have culture, the internal part with you as well. So I mean, I can only see this taking Nuvei from strength to strength in the future of the market here. So congratulations, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Done. So that's it, Phil. Thanks for joining me today, and appreciate all the great view on the North American market and how you see the future of payments. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome to see you, Joe, and welcome to the Double Espresso Show, which today will be addressing the future of payments in North America. But before we start, how are we doing today?
Very well. Thank you for having me. We're coming off an exciting few months at Sightline with the capital raise, and obviously come on the heels of an incredible March Madness, which, validates the consumer's appetite for sports betting, and doing so in a safe, secure, responsible way. So thank you for having me.
Well, that's why we're talking today. It makes it even more interesting with all the things going on at Sightline. I'm very keen on this today. So let's get right to it. And we can even talk more if there's more to add. I have 4 core questions, but let's get on with it. Joe. You have literally just announced $100 million funding. Incredible. Well done. Hats off. I know you guys worked hard, so amazing news. In regards to that raise, I picked up on your press release that you said that the $100 million in funding would empower the digital transformation of the consumer experience and transform consumers' funding options within the gaming industry. Can you tell us more? About this?
Yeah. First off, I'd like to say the raise is a testament to the excitement that exists within the industry, and more importantly, to the people and the talent that we have at the organization, and having great clarity and a vision of where Sightline will inevitably lead this industry. The investment is really focused on 4 areas when you think about our organizational build out. So the first is, really enhancing from a technology perspective our platform and the value that we create out of our secure payment ecosystem today, embedding the various funding options, being able to accommodate the next generation and what they're demanding in terms of how they want to consume their gaming activity. We are enhancing the consumer digital experience, that interface, the mobile optimization. How can you do that in a very safe, secure, seamless manner? I think about the other area. We have our own proprietary network called the SPAN, or the Play Plus network, that allows you to move funds in a safe, secure manner, both money in and out of a wagering account, and really enhancing that closed loop proprietary network that we have, which is so tremendously valuable. And then the other piece that we are focused on is really creating this unified consumer experience. When you think about bringing together all the disparate points of interaction, whether it's on the digital side, back down to the integrated casino resort, on the gaming floor, off the gaming floor, and how do you bring that together in a very seamless manner? In having the integrations, today we have the ability to touch over 900,000 electronic gaming devices based on our integrations and our focus on technology. The second area that we're investing heavily in is from a marketing perspective, really enhancing our BI engine. Sightline is in a very unique position surrounding the data, the enormous amount of data that we have access to by being both an issuer and an acquirer allows us to truly build out an engine that's solely focused on how can we create these generational marketing strategies in the enriched data that we have by leveraging the payment data, and how we can better understand lifetime player value, the affluency status, the buying behaviors of the consumers, and really focus on not just the acquisition, help augment and enhance the acquisition strategies of the operators and or the digital providers, but more importantly, it really becomes a phenomenal retention tool. So the third item that we're focused on, obviously, is our people. I stand here today humbled and honored and blessed to be part in leading a phenomenal organization. But the depth and expertise that we have at this organization, especially given the convergence of two highly complex, highly regulated industries converging in payments and gaming, the culture that we are creating, leveraging the entrepreneurial spirit and the innovation that's been the heartbeat of Sightline, we are creating the best talent, or attracting the best talent, and creating a culture that is unmatched in the industry. And that has a direct correlation back to how we handle our partners, our customers, and ultimately what we will do in this industry. The last piece that we're very passionate about, we're in uncharted waters when you think about what we're rolling out related to cashless within the gaming ecosystem and this digital transformation. And it's imperative important for us to really invest in the thought leadership and the research to help aid from a responsible gaming perspective. As we go to electronify an industry, there's not a lot of data or supporting research that validates what might be possible, or how can we have better controls, how we can do better predictive analysis as it relates to problem gaming and things of that nature. So obviously investing in partnerships like what we're doing with the UNLV and the Payments Collaborative and things of that nature. So those are really the four areas that we are taking a very disciplined approach to make the right investment. In aggregate, that will help create a single unified consumer experience within the gaming ecosystem, and bringing together all those various touch points and that connected tissue in a very seamless manner. So we're excited about the investment, we're excited about our strategy, and we have great clarity in regards to where the industry will be and how we will continue to lead those efforts.
I mean, that's incredible. I think quickly jumping to point 3 and 4. I've seen recently you guys made a lot of senior hires within Sightline. So obviously you guys are very, I wouldn't maybe use the word aggressive, but you're definitely very, very strong and proactive in building a strong culture now to keep delivering on the back of the other 3 points that you're talking about. And I will drop it for now because we can turn to it in point or question number 4 about the future of payments in North America. But I'd definitely like to hear more about player protection or problem gambling and how you see Sightline's product and the way you're developing the market. What role you play in this and how important Sightline is for other verticals or other companies that see themselves an important part of this. What role do you play in this, or the payment industry in general? Let's leave that for now. I would love to go to question number 2. I know you'll find that one very interesting. Crypto is a buzzword, so I don't think we can get around this one. So I just want to ask you, I know you guys always talk about cashless, which we'll get to, but crypto, how do you see this? What is your view on crypto and the role it plays for the industry, for the betting and gaming industry going forward?
Yeah, look, it's a good question, and I will tell you, we are definitely keeping a mindful eye on the movement. At Sightline, we like to say we have eyes on the vision, ears to the ground. And we are watching the movement and the impact that the cryptocurrency, or it could be a derivative of crypto leveraging, the blockchain technology. There is a parallel financial system that's being created in support of cryptocurrencies. But from our lens, it's incredibly important to stay disciplined and make sure we are focused on providing a safe, secure, seamless payment ecosystem that has the inherent consumer protections and it allows them to move financial transactions in and out of wagering accounts in a responsible manner. So until we truly understand the impact of what's it mean from a regulatory perspective, what's it mean from responsible gaming, what are the consumer protections, we're going to continue to monitor it, but it is imperative as an industry and as Sightline to make sure we stick the landing in regards to the rollout of cashless acceptance and this digital transformation in the North American gaming market. That will allow the regulators to better understand what consumer protections exist, what are the velocity and controls that exist, how do you implement time and diversion. Having an audit trail of every transaction provides tremendous benefit from research and how we leverage that. So I think it's great excitement, and there is a great future of cryptocurrencies or, again, some derivative of leveraging blockchain technology in the gaming industry. But I think what we need to do is make sure we are all aligned in sharing best practices and truly stick the landing with the rollout of cashless and that true omni-channel experience, which correlates to both the digital side and what gets cascaded back down to the integrated casino resort. So that is where we are hyper-focused on what that digital consumer experience is going to look like within the cashless ecosystem.
Oh yeah, I think that's a very good answer, and I kind of agree with you. So appreciate you giving me your view on this. So let's jump to question number 3 because I'm sure
it may not be popular, but we got to stay very.
It's obviously very, very different. I was talking to Phil from Nuvei. They support 40 cryptocurrencies by now, right? So it's a different way of how early you might be adopting to some of this, or you waiting as you guys maybe want to see with the regulations, the understanding, all these things come into place before you start doing too much with crypto, right?
That's right.
So, different ways of seeing it. But let's jump to cashless. I know this is Sightline all over it.
Yeah.
So everywhere I look and everywhere I read, I see, I go, there's Sightline and there's cashless. So the third question has to be about cashless. So let me ask you this. Sightline is a driver of cashless payments in North America. Can you describe how this works and what the main principles are? Because when I go to Sightline, there's all these 7 ways of this, there's all these benefits. So you're the expert. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so when you think about the thesis of how you roll out a safe, secure payment ecosystem that allows you to seamlessly move money in and out of a wagering account and then give you the ability to access those funds real time and use them anywhere you want or where, Discover or MasterCard is accepted. The thesis behind it is you have to be able to move money in and out of a brick and mortar casino and or the digital gaming systems real time. You have to be able to spend that money real time anywhere within the integrated casino resort, whether it's on the gaming floor or off the gaming floor. You have to have access to that money anywhere in the real world. So I'm in an integrated casino resort. I win, money's sitting in my financial account. I want the ability to then go use that at the ATM, retail, go online. Wherever I conduct commerce today, I have to have real-time accessibility. You have to be incentivized or rewarded to be able to utilize, right? To be able to utilize those funds. Why would I make that card or this account top of choice from a consumer perspective? There has to be a trust, a confidence, and an expectation of, I know when I utilize this financial offering, this is the experience I'm going to receive, the benefit, which comes down to a trust and confidence, knowing that my money is safe and secure, and you have to be able to do it on a mobile device. And when you think about the genesis of Sightline, and what we built out, it's a real, I got a little prop here, but what it does is when you think about this, the Play Plus offering is a financial account. You enroll in the account. This is co-branded based on all the different operators today. Today, we support over 80 programs in 39 jurisdictions in regards to that. With the enrollment comes a financial instrument. With this card, the financial account, it's FDIC insured. You have various velocity and controls embedded within. You have responsible gaming elements and various AML KYC. I can use multiple funding mechanisms to fund this account. Debit, credit, PayPal, working on Zelle, all of the different alternative payment methods or funding mechanisms to fund my account. Then I have the ability to move this via our closed loop network, which runs on the SPAN network, our proprietary network, the SPAN network. Because of our integrations investment in technology allows me to move money that's sitting in my financial account in a closed loop environment to all the various gaming and wagering systems, whether it be on the digital side and or at the brick and mortar, whether it be a slot system and or a table game. When I win, I have the ability to move that money up real time, take this financial instrument, load it into my Apple wallet, and use it anywhere. I can go to an ATM, I can go to retail, I can shop online, mobile, use it at Apple Pay, Google Pay. The utility of this offering by leveraging the secure payment ecosystem that we've created in our proprietary network makes us very uniquely positioned in the marketplace. The best thing about this offering, it also ties back, it's directly correlated and ties back to the operator's loyalty and rewards system. In addition, from a marketing perspective, we are building out the ability to supplement that loyalty and reward system of that of our own. So we're very excited about the architecture of the solution, the ultimate benefit it brings, and how you can provide a safe, secure, seamless ecosystem to move money in and out of wagering accounts and use the various funding mechanisms. We have a lot to announce in terms of, in the very near future, the innovative spirit that we continue to lead in the industry surrounding cashless gaming and what a true omni-channel experience will look like.
So the whole Play Plus is proprietary. You guys built this, and from my understanding, you have more than 1.5 million accounts, right? So we already have a lot of consumers using this, which is a testament to its success. So my question number 4 really goes into the role that you see Sightline playing in the future of the payment industry in North America. Before I ask you the question, let me ask you this then. If you have 1.5 million accounts now, how do you see this in 5 years? Maybe just in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, look.
What do you see? What is the possibility here in terms of account holders?
Look, we feel incredibly bullish about the macro environment as it relates to the aggressive movement of the legalization of internet gaming and sports betting. You couple the aggressive movement that you have with the digital transformation and cashless being provided as an option within the integrated casino resorts. You think about, there are many great companies supporting the gaming industry and key ancillary service providers that we are going to continue to work with and really work with the operators, because at the end of the day, we are working to continue to create value with the operators, continue to drive value, continue to drive more velocity in the ecosystem and within their wagering accounts within a safe, secure manner, and doing so responsibly. So I will tell you, we are very bullish in regards to what we can do in the industry for the operators and what we can do specifically for the consumers. And ultimately, Play Plus will become the brand that trust and confidence that will become the consumer's number one choice for any form of gaming and entertainment activity in regards to funding and doing so in a very secured way to move money in and out. And we feel very good. I'm not going to commit to a number. Someone will pull that out, hold me to it. A year from now, our investors may not like the number or maybe two.
Fair enough. But Joe, what I found interesting there is because you do mention, and I touched base on this before we started the discussion here between us, right? When I introduced Sightline in the beginning, one of my points was that you have all these great accounts, and as you mentioned, of course, part of this is that you see all the player protection, everything within it, right? So I assume, based on the industry, this is why the gaming industry is so exciting for you guys, because it's so much more important based on not just the fraud and everything else, right? The whole player protection part is more inherent in this industry than it would be in the consumer space or the e-commerce, right? So if you have all this built in to your proprietary platform, that is above and beyond what you can really do here. This is an encompassing solution. I guess this is how you're seeing it, huh?
We are. Look, and the great thing about the payment industry overall, it's time tested, well proven. It's been in existence for decades. You already have inherited consumer protections embedded within the payment industry, right? Yeah. By utilizing a financial instrument. You then start to take a look at the KYC, the AML, and all the credentialing that occurs within the gaming industry. You layer that in. You think about the ability to start putting in thresholds of time and diversion. I've utilized a financial instrument for gaming purposes to move money in and out of a slot machine or a table game. Going back in and trying to move money yet again, you can automatically put in time constraints related to time and diversion to have a cooling off period when you electronify the industry. Think about the ability to create a secure vault that if I wagered $1,000 and I won $1,500, I can immediately move money back into my account, have that money sit in a secured vault, the $1,000, because I don't want to gamble with it or wager with it anymore. I'm going to now use the 500 I've won. There is so much possibility, and again, it comes down to being the leader from an innovative perspective. It's the strong collaboration with many of these great companies that also support and have a unique role in the gaming industry in this digital transformation. It's got to be innovation. It's got to be collaboration, and continuing for us to be that thought leader in regards to responsible gaming and how can we continue in a very disciplined manner to lean this industry forward, and everyone is going to win. And you do so by having phenomenal people. And that's where we're at. We love the space. We love where the industry.
Spoken as a true CEO. Spoken as a true CEO.
I don't know how good I am, but hey, I'm going to exhaust our resources to do what we need to do to continue to win and execute in the market.
Well, I do know your colleagues fairly well, and I must admit, you guys are a great team. So I can only say again, hats off based on what you guys have accomplished, what you will be accomplishing in the years to come. So I think we kind of already crossed sort of the time allocated to you and me talking here. So I would just say this has been very, very informative, and you guys raising now 100 million is just a testament to what you guys have been doing and what you will be doing. But I will give you, if you want, I will ask you the question, so you can, if you want just a minute or max two. I would say, with Sightline. So if I'm asking you the question, what role do you see Sightline playing in the future of payments industry in North America? I mean, we touched on it, but is there anything specific you want to say in regards to it?
No, I think we are going to be that trusted partner that is going to continue to bring innovation to the industry and be the single provider of creating that one unified account to seamlessly move money in and out and continue to drive and add value to both the consumer side, to the consumer, and to the operators when you take a look at all the assets and the value add we bring from a retention perspective and how you can create the stickiness and that loyalty. No one in this industry has the depth and expertise that we have to be able to execute on this unified consumer experience within the gaming and entertainment industry.
Incredible. I mean, I can only say I wish you guys the best of luck. But I don't think you need luck. I think you got the team, you got the platform.
Amen. Amen.
And you also have a very, very, very cool, exciting, and what seems to be a forward thinking, embracing industry at the moment, where you see legislation passed at probably a more frequent rate than we would have expected when Passport was repealed about 3 years ago. So yeah, it's all looking very good for you guys. And Joe, I would just say a very big thank you to you for joining me here.
Appreciate everything.
Absolutely. And as I said to Phil and Lorenzo, I would love to try and get the three of you maybe on a joint panel. So let's see if we can do, and you guys can sort of debate the things that we debated on a separate note. We can debate and discuss together and see what's going to come of that. I would love to ask that question about the future of payments with all three of you in the conversation. So that's going to be exciting.
Amen.
Anyway, Joe,
love to do it. We appreciate everything. Thank you very much.
Again, thanks to you and thanks to Sightline. I'll speak to you. I'll speak to you again very soon when I get the three of you on my panel. Then. Wow, what a great show today. We were talking about the future of payments in North America. I had three awesome guests in the studio: Lorenzo from Paysafe, Phil from Nuvei, and Joe from Sightline. I mean, all of them incredible, awesome businesses, proprietary software, technology companies with focus on payments and how to develop the payment opportunities for consumers in the North American market, and obviously embracing the massive opportunity of a currently $3 billion betting and gaming market in North America that is looking to become more like a $25 billion company in 5 years' time. And if you look at the retail side, land-based casinos and all of this, we're looking at a $100 billion plus market. It's amazing, lots of opportunities, and the three guests today certainly are at the forefront of the opportunities with payments in the market. So I'd like to say a big thank you to the guests, and I'm very much looking forward to continue my explorations into how payments is going to play its vital role in the betting and gaming market in the US, especially also when it comes to player protection, popular gambling, as a big part of understanding how you use the data to improve the work towards a sustainable and responsible entertainment industry in North America. My name is Rasmus Sojmark. I'm the CEO and founder of SPC, and I am your host, and I've been your host today for the Double Espresso Show. Thank you.